Welcome to the Dispatch. You are listening to a primer on Jammu and Kashmir. In episode 25, we bring to you the story of the beginning of electoral politics, way back in 1934.
The establishment of the Praja Sabha in 1934 marked a constitutional turning point in the history of Jammu and Kashmir. For the first time, the Dogra state introduced an elected legislative body, limited in powers and tightly framed, yet significant as the earliest formal recognition that public opinion required an institutional channel. The Sabha was a direct outcome of the Glancy Commission's recommendations, and it represented the state's first experiment in balancing monarchical authority with representative governance. The rules governing the new assembly reflected both ambition and caution. The Praja Sabha consisted of 75 members, divided into nominated and elected categories. The Maharaja retained the right to nominate a substantial portion, including officials and representatives of special interests. The remaining seats were filled through elections based on a restricted franchise. Eligibility to vote depended on property, education, and tax criteria, meaning only a small proportion of the population, overwhelmingly male and urban, could participate. In effect, the Sabha was designed as an advisory chamber rather than a legislative authority. But its creation marked a shift from petition-based politics to structured political engagement. The first elections generated considerable public interest. Political organizations, though young and limited in reach, began framing platforms and holding meetings. The All Jammu and Kashmir Muslim Conference mobilized support in the valley, focusing on administrative fairness, educational access, and implementation of earlier reforms. In Jammu, Hindu associations, including the Dogra Sabha and sections influenced by the Hindu Mahasabha, organized campaigns centered on employment, infrastructure, and cultural concerns. These developments were driven by local issues, but the methods of mobilization reflected broader subcontinental trends: speeches, pamphlets, rallies, and coordinated outreach. The elected Praja Sabha convened for the first time in October 1934. Its debates, though constrained by the chamber's limited authority, brought new public visibility to administrative matters. Members discussed land revenue, irrigation works, education policies, municipal needs, and the functioning of lower courts. Even when discussions were advisory, they created a formal record of public concerns. For the first time, the people of the state, through their representatives, were able to voice grievances in an official arena rather than rely solely on petitions or intermediaries. The functioning of the Sabha also revealed the evolving political complexion of the state. Regional differences became more visible. Jammu's interests often centered on trade, employment, and administrative representation, while the valley's representatives emphasized economic relief, educational access, and procedural fairness. Frontier districts such as Ladakh and Gilgit, with far smaller representation, raised issues of connectivity and official attention to their unique conditions. These differences did not weaken the Sabha's significance. Rather, they demonstrated the diversity of concerns within a large and varied state. Maharaja Hari Singh's approach to the new institution was carefully balanced. He supported the Sabha as a mechanism for consultation, but retained decisive authority over legislation, finance, and appointments. His relationship with the British remained stable, and the Residency monitored developments closely, viewing the Sabha as part of the broader trend of gradual political participation across princely India. While the Maharaja remained the central figure in governance, he understood that the introduction of the Sabha represented a new stage in the state's political evolution. By the end of the decade, the Praja Sabha had neither transformed the state nor remained merely symbolic. It had created a precedent: elections, debates, and the expectation that governance would include some measure of public voice. Its establishment deepened the political awareness already forming in society and prepared the ground for the more assertive politics that would emerge in the late 1930s and 1940s. The Praja Sabha was, in essence, the first constitutional doorway through which the people of Jammu and Kashmir entered the realm of formal politics.
Thanks for watching this episode of Primer on Jammu and Kashmir. Here is a quick note from the editors of the Dispatch. While dealing with historical events, we are conscious of the fact that history has no single view. In places like Jammu and Kashmir, this can be more complicated. While explaining the events of history through this primer, we are taking the best possible care to be objective and to offer context wherever views differ starkly. We welcome you to write to us and enrich the knowledge base on Jammu and Kashmir.